Hello and welcome to your Newsmax Daily for the 90th day of the year and the final day of the month, Monday, March 31st, 2025. 12 days into spring, and today is National Crayon Day, a big day at schools around the country, established by Crayola. And today is Eiffel Tower Day, marking the completion of one of the world's most recognized monuments on this day in 1889. After 2 years, 2 months, and 5 days of construction, named after its principal engineer, Gustav Eiffel. Over the weekend, Saturday specifically, we marked National Vietnam War Veterans Day, marking the day, March 29th, that U.S. assistance was disestablished and the last U.S. troops left Vietnam. I personally didn't see any coverage of that over the weekend, unfortunately. That doesn't mean there wasn't coverage of it, but I personally didn't see or really hear any. Again, unfortunately, kudos and thank you. Thank you to you if you are a Vietnam War veteran. Hope you had a fantastic weekend doing whatever it is you like to do. If you remember, the weekend started off with that massive earthquake in Myanmar and Thailand, where search and rescue efforts are continuing today. As of this morning, the death toll is more than 1,700. I said on Friday the story would be updated throughout the day and the weekend, as will the number of casualties. The big stories here, outside of the NCAA Final Four, of course, let's go Florida, Duke, Houston, and Auburn, is tomorrow's state Supreme Court vote in Wisconsin, where Elon Musk spent time campaigning over the weekend, and Florida's special election to fill the U.S. House seat vacated by Matt Gaetz, who resigned when he was nominated to be Attorney General, and the seat of former Congressman Mike Waltz, who is now Trump's national security advisor. So that's two critical seats in the U.S. House of Representatives. The other big story, this Wednesday, is the day President Trump's reciprocal tariffs are scheduled to go in effect, what he has often referred to as Liberation Day. This is what the president said on Air Force One last night as he returned to Washington from Palm Beach.
The tariffs will be far more generous than those countries were to us, meaning they will be kinder than those countries were to the United States of America over the decades. They ripped us off like no country's ever been ripped off in history.
The president's already announced proposed tariffs on foreign vehicles was a big talking point on all the networks over the weekend. This is Lydia Serrani on Newsmax's Sunday Agenda.
What we're going to be doing is a 25% tariff on all cars that are not made in the United States. If they're made in the United States, there's absolutely no tariff. This is very exciting to me. This is the automobile industry, and this will continue to spur growth.
Made in the USA. President Trump determined to make that the standard on products sold here in the United States. This nation once had a thriving auto industry, and Trump says his tariffs will help make that happen again. Let's bring in someone who knows just a little bit about the auto industry. The founder of Auto Workers for Trump 2024, Brian Panebecker. Brian, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, Lydia.
So American cities, specifically Motor City, right? Detroit, used to thrive in part because of the auto industry. I have more family there outside of the Detroit area than I even have here in New York. But more and more companies, aside from Tesla, of course, have been building cars elsewhere. What do you think Trump's tariffs will mean? And what will it also mean for auto union workers, for the UAW, if more cars are made here in America?
Well, number one, it's going to mean that the underutilized plants in the Metro Detroit area and across the Midwest, down into South Carolina and the other places where Nissan and Honda and some of those places have built plants, they will be building to capacity. Right now in Macomb County, there are several big plants that have entire shifts laid off. And a shift of auto workers in a big assembly plant could mean 1,000, 1,200 people on layoff. So those, number one, those people will be coming back to work. Floor space that's underutilized in some of their facilities will be new technology and new production parts will be brought in there, and we'll get back to running at full capacity. That's step one. And then for any new plants that are going to be built, particularly by companies like Hyundai and some of the Japanese and foreign automakers. They're going to come to America to build vehicles now because it's going to be too expensive for them to build them in their home country and just ship the vehicles to us because of the tariffs. So it's going to be a win-win. As far as the jobs created, there's going to be a lot more jobs available, and that'll give the UAW an opportunity to organize. Whether or not the workers in particular plants decide to join the UAW, like down south, Volkswagen, Toyota, Honda have all had votes in the last 6 or 8 years. That is up to the workers, but it'll give the UAW an opportunity to organize those folks.
What do you say to people that, oh, these tariffs, they'll only make the cost of goods go even higher? Meantime, it's not just the auto industry that's seeing a bump already. Let's take a look at some of the companies that you mentioned that are spending big bucks in U.S. investments. Apple, $500 billion. CMA, $20 billion. Eli Lilly, $27 billion. GE, $1 billion. Hyundai, $20 billion. Johnson & Johnson, $50. I mean, it goes on and on. Already there's a positive response to what Trump is doing, yet he's still getting a lot of criticism. What do you say to that?
That's because people don't understand what Trump is trying to do. He's not trying to make it more expensive for the companies outside the United States to make their products just to make them more expensive. He's doing it to force them to bring their production facilities into the United States, hire American workers, and then we'll have the jobs, we'll have the tax revenue, and there'll be just another company that's building their product here in the United States. It's not about making it more expensive for them, and then they continue to build their products outside the United States. Trump wants them to bring their production facilities into the United States and make their products here. And then there'll be just another company producing their product here in the United States, and there won't be a cost factor.
That's Brian Panebecker, founder of Auto Workers for Trump on Newsmax. And this is Sean Fain, president of the United Auto Workers Union.
We have excess capacity. They could bring work back in very short order. And yes, they're in a situation where they need to build a new plant. Yeah, that's going to take a couple years. But there is plenty of opportunity for these companies to do the right thing and bring work back here overnight, just as quick as they shipped it out of here.
You will see and hear a lot today about President Trump saying he couldn't care less if prices on foreign cars went up. The second part of that statement is what you probably will not hear or see. He doesn't care because Americans will turn to buying more cars made in the U.S., quote unquote. That is the full statement. Over the weekend, there was a coordinated nationwide effort to protest at Tesla showrooms and factories around the country, which started off fairly robust, but quickly fizzled out. This is Newsmax host Rita Cosby with Rudy Giuliani on Saturday Report.
This has been incredible. All of these different protests. Today is supposed to be this big Tesla takedown day. And, Democrats, they seem to be pinning every grievance with this administration on Elon Musk, regardless of the physical danger that is putting him and so many of these Tesla owners. I want to show some clips and get your reaction.
It's on March 29th. It's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes.
Elon Musk kind of turned out to be and I don't want to be driving a car built and designed by
Tesla's tanking right now, and I'm okay with that.
They've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. And if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, and take out, just telling you.
Rudy, this is incredible. I think you were the greatest mayor ever of New York, and you know how to rein in violence. But boy, oh boy, it's really scary, some of these things we're seeing. Yeah. Have Democrats become tacit enablers of some of this political violence? They're not condemning it, unfortunately, Rudy.
No, they've gone from the most extreme misuses of our court system, crimes to frame people, prosecuting innocent people, including me and Bannon and President Trump. They attempted to kill him. And now they're going to straight out and out violence. This is a racketeering case. for the top echelon of the FBI. The FBI should do to this what I did to the mafia. They should put together a task force of FBI agents, local police, and the best Justice Department lawyers they have who understand the intricate RICO case, and they should go after these people. And here's who I want to get to. You're not going to fool me. This is being funded. It's being funded by the same people who funded the destructive rallies of 2020, which made January 6th look like a peaceful protest. These are the ones who have protested and done all of the anti-Jewish insanity that we've been going through. They're making our country into an anti-Semitic country. The money is coming from the same group of people. They know who they are. I know who they are. I could catch them. And RICO would take all their damn money away from them.
Well, you know what, Rudy, you're right. We got to go back to the people who are backing. And you're right. There's a familiar pattern with all these different protests.
You
Rudy,
know who they are. I know who they are. And I know Elon knows who they are.
Right. And President Trump does, too. And hopefully we all get to the bottom of it. And hopefully it all gets exposed and they
He's
crack
doing
down.
great work for America. He's saving us from one of our biggest problems, our debt.
Yeah.
Our debt could crush us and make China the winner.
And saving taxpayers so much money in the process. Rudy, it's great to see you. Wonderful to see you.
Great job, as always, Rita.
Former New York City Mayor, former Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani on Newsmax with Rita Cosby, saying the anti-Tesla mobs are funded by the same people that funded other protests, including the anti-Israel protests on college campuses. We get more from Rob Schmitt, and this is a little bit long, but it's a lot of good stuff.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio revealing this week the State Department has already revoked 300 visas from foreign students who tore up and terrorized our university campuses. 300 radical foreigners given visas to subvert the foundations of this peaceful republic. 300 very terrible guests are being sent home in tears. And it's nice to see, hopefully never to return. Video of just one example from this week was something to see. Rumeysa Ozturk, a Tufts PhD student. She's in the white coat. Ooh, there she is. Rumeysa moonlighted in pro-Hamas activities while enjoying the liberties of a Western education and the luxury of a foreign visa. She was nabbed by ICE on the streets of Boston. You can hear it. We'll let you listen. Oh, you a little scared, Rumeysa? Think about all the Jewish kids you terrorized last year. They were probably scared, too. They're citizens. You're not. Quite a moment to witness there. The left, of course, immediately jumped on Rumeysa's side and tried to compare ICE to the Gestapo, claiming that she was thrown out of the country simply for writing an anti-Israel op-ed. That was all she did. She wrote a little op-ed in the local newspaper at Columbia, and she got tossed out. Nah. Our own Secretary of State directly responded to that claim.
If you apply for a visa to enter the United States and be a student, and you tell us that the reason why you're coming to the United States is not just because you want to write op-eds, but because you want to participate in movements that are involved in doing things like vandalizing universities, harassing students, taking over buildings, creating a ruckus, we're not going to give you a visa. If you lie to us and get a visa and then enter the United States and with that visa participate in that sort of activity, we're going to take away your visa. We gave you a visa to come and study and get a degree, not to become a social activist that tears up our university campuses. Every time I find one of these lunatics, I take away their visa.
Love that. And the left can kick and scream, but we are cleaning all the crap out of this country, and it is fun to watch. Some more examples here. Dr. Rasha Alaway from Lebanon found out she wasn't allowed back into the U.S. after she took a little vacation to attend the funeral of a Hezbollah leader that was killed in an Israeli strike. The doctor had photos of terror leaders and Hezbollah fighters on her phone. They were hidden in the deleted folder. She thought she was coming back home to nice, free, safe America and her high-paying job. Nah. Back to Lebanon you go. Watch out for those Israeli bombs, honey. Of course, you already know Mahmoud Khalil, married to an American woman with a baby on the way. Khalil coordinated the Columbia protests, is also accused right now in a lawsuit of having advanced knowledge of the October 7th attacks. He's still fighting his deportation. He'll likely end up back in Syria, hopefully. We're going to see if wifey is loyal enough to trade Manhattan for bombed-out Aleppo. The State Department and ICE working together to take the trash out as the other side, with the help of our ridiculous courts, works to protect all these cancers of our society. Adam Schiff.
If the administration ultimately is given a green light by the legal system to grab anyone off the street, unilaterally designate them a gang member or anything else, and without any opportunity to contest that decision by the executive, you can be whisked off the street and taken to some big prison in El Salvador, then no one is safe.
I think we're pretty safe. Just anyone off the street, right? Like the Tren de Aragua gang members at CCOT that were standing behind Kristi Noem when she made that address. You saw them standing there. The left rushing to defend these illegals, furious they didn't get a full trial before their deportation. There they are right there. They broke into the country. They were investigated, found to be gang members, and they were sent to CCOT. And the Democrats in this country are just furious at that, as if they're citizens.
Rob Schmitt is the host of Rob Schmitt Tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern on Newsmax. Check it out tonight. Over the weekend, some Democrats and some in the media were still more concerned about Secretary Noem's very expensive watch than they were about the illegal gang members. And the conversation over the Signal intelligence leak last week continued over the weekend as well. On Saturday's edition of America Right Now, host Tom Basile uncovered the Signal app's ties to Democratic donors and potential government monitoring.
The contents of the text chain is not the story here, as much as the media might want to make it out to be. The bigger questions that should be asked are about Signal itself. Signal was founded in part by a guy named Brian Acton, who worked at Yahoo in the 1990s and then sold WhatsApp for billions of dollars to Facebook. He then purportedly helped found the Signal Technology Foundation as a nonprofit during the Obama years. The app reportedly gained popularity during the George Floyd riots of 2020 among activists and then dramatically increased its usage during the Biden presidency. This is a free public app developed by a Democrat activist. Here's CIA Director John Ratcliffe.
So that we're clear, one of the first things that happened when I was confirmed as CIA Director was Signal was loaded onto my computer at the CIA, as it is for most CIA officers.
Why would a private application, largely owned and operated by a nonprofit organization connected to a prolific left-wing donor, be on government computers at the highest level in the first place, unless the organization and the government had previously established some kind of relationship? Let's be clear. In order for that app to be installed on the computers of senior administration officials, the government and the intel community would have had to have either plussed up its capabilities or understood exactly how the firewalls and the algorithms work to ensure its security. That lends some credence to the idea that the federal government has long had a full understanding of Signal's systems, including how to punch through them and therefore possibly monitor conversations. The fact that this is an outside organization linked to the left also means that there is a possibility outside forces could be utilizing the platform to spy on users. We don't know. Is this a long-standing ruse? The individuals on the text chain would have been given enough information all to feel comfortable having such discussions utilizing the application. They would have been given clearance to do so by career government IT personnel when they were briefed on operational security upon entering office. There is no way that all of those experienced senior-level individuals to a person participated in a chat that any of them understood to be of questionable security. They had to have been told by the intel community or by some career government source that its use was permissible. According to the IRS, in 2023, the Signal Technology Foundation took in more than $22 million from anonymous sources. Brian Acton's other nonprofits, Acton Family Giving and Solidarity Giving, help fund a whole range of radical left-wing causes, including the ACLU Foundation, the Council on American Islamic Relations, the Center for Reproductive Rights, the Climate and Clean Energy Equity Fund, Forward.us, the Anti-Second Amendment groups, the Planned Parenthood Federation of America, the Lambda Legal Defense Fund, and the Southern Poverty Law Center, among many others. So is it a monitoring tool for the government or the far left? How deep does the Signal federal government intel community relationship go, if there is one?
As always, good stuff from Tom Basile, host of America Right Now. That's Saturday mornings at 9 on Newsmax. On Capitol Hill, ahead of the Senate budget vote this week, the Senate is expected to take up a vote designed to stop President Trump's tariffs on imports from Canada. The House has several Republican legislative priorities while waiting to see if the Senate approves the budget resolution. President Trump, who arrived back at the White House last night, as I mentioned in the open, is scheduled to sign yet another executive order today, or maybe more than one executive order, which means there will be another unofficial news conference at the White House, where he will talk about tariffs and about ending the Russian-Ukraine war, after telling NBC News over the weekend that he was disappointed with Putin and that he's getting pissed off. You've probably seen or heard that headline from Meet the Press. In fact, you can read all about it at Newsmax.com, and this is what the president said about it on Air Force One last night.
I was disappointed in a certain way. Some of the things that were said over the last day or two having to do with Zelensky, because when he considers Zelensky not credible, he's supposed to be making a deal with him, whether you like him or you don't like him. So I wasn't happy with that.
Again, that's President Trump on Air Force One returning to Washington last night. There were multiple reports over the weekend of another near collision between a passenger jet, this time a Delta jet, and another military aircraft at Reagan National Airport in D.C. According to the Associated Press, the Delta flight was cleared for takeoff at the same time 4 U.S. Air Force jets were inbound. Air traffic control had to issue warnings and instructions to all aircrafts, and the incident is now under review. On Wall Street, stocks started the new week in the red ahead of President Trump's reciprocal tariff deadline on Wednesday. Again, reciprocal, meaning if a country charges us 25%, we will charge them 25%. If they charge us 15%, we will charge them 15%. And as always, the new month will bring the jobs report, the non-farm payrolls on Friday. That's what investors are looking at. Today is a big day on Wall Street for Newsmax. IPO day. Shares of Newsmax stock started trading publicly this morning, meaning anyone could buy shares. The symbol NMAX, as in Newsmax, NMAX. Congratulations to CEO and my friend Chris Rudy, who started Newsmax.com in 1998. And here we are today. Congratulations to everyone on the team. Gold continues to rise, hitting another new high this morning, $3,139 per ounce at the time of this recording. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in the red as well. Bitcoin down about $650, 81,900 and change at the time of this recording. Ether, Dogecoin, XRP, all just slightly lower. So again, as I just mentioned, another unofficial news conference coming up at the White House when the president signs another executive order, or maybe more than one executive order. Be sure to keep up with all of the news on Newsmax, N2, and at Newsmax.com. Also, make sure you're streaming on Newsmax Plus so you get all of your favorite shows and hosts. It all starts each and every day with Wake Up America, followed by National Report, all the way through Rob Schmitt at 7, Finnerty at 8, Greg Kelly Reports, Chris Plant and the Right Squad, and so much more. I'm Tony Marino. Thank you so much, as always, for listening. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Pay attention and keep on fighting the good fight.
News breaks every minute, every day. You need the app, the Newsmax app. Find it free on your smartphone store. Then watch us anytime, anywhere.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.